Hey friends, welcome to week 31 of Theme Park Thursday, and I'm here with a layout featuring the Topiaries at the Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot from my Disney trip that I took with my daughters in March of 2022. Played around a little bit, thought I was going to go in a different direction with the paper pack, ended up with Birds and Blossoms, which is our 2024 spring collection, ended up using the Tropic Time letter stickers, which I think was fun. But I managed to fit 6 photos on a single page layout, which is pretty awesome. So I'm happy with it. And it came together pretty quick. I learned a couple of things, the hard way, especially about like tracing around these rings with pen. I learned what not to do, but then I also learned that it's really nice because you can just hide it behind the part that's not going to show. So stay tuned to put together this flowery, stripy, gardeny layout of Topiaries at Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival. Here we are to the page with the Topiaries, and I always feel like I took more pictures than I took. I felt like, I've taken way too many pictures of these, but I only ended up with 6 pictures of these Topiaries that they do as part of the Flower and Garden Festival. So I really don't want to do these on 2 pages, although I still am not quite sure what's going to happen with this layout, because we did the Flower and Garden food last week. Then we've got Harmonious, which will be a double page. And we've got this Epcot night. Oh, and the statues. So we need to do the golden statue. So maybe I need to decide if I'm going to do like Epcot night, if this is going to be one layout. A double page. And then I've got the pictures of Michelle with her little fairy wings. That's not really a topiary. I don't know what that is. I don't know if I'm going to put that one in, but that's kind of our Epcot night. So I could use this as our last page. I could use this as our last page, but it's not even going to be 30 pages. So I might not even want to end this right now. So maybe I think I'm still going to just do this as a single page because there's just not enough. It's not worth doing it as a double page, I don't think. So there we go. That was my decision. Somebody last week told me I overthink, and yes, that is one of my talents, is overthinking. But I think I can crop all of these down. They don't need to stay 4x6. They could all be smaller. So I'm going to pull out my templates, which I've talked about fairly recently. I have all of these that I've made, and I just have them hanging on a little hook by my cropping table. I think I want a rectangle. That one might work. These are squares. That one might work. Circles. That one's probably too small. All right, so let's see which of these, because if I did something kind of like with 6 rectangles, then we could use like a background paper and kind of make one of those little decorative layouts that we see. 4x2. It's a little short. Look, I have 2 that are 2 3/4 by 4. That must be a size that I like. And I think that will work. And that will make a cute, an easy positioning for my page. So last week we used the Spring Medley collection for the Flower and Garden food, and a lot of our layouts this time have been blue. I was kind of also thinking about using Birds and Blossoms, which is of course this year 2024's collection. I definitely don't want that one. It has kind of the orange and the green and this blue and that robin's egg. I don't know, I can't decide if I want these colors. I'm kind of thinking no, just with this. I feel like I need, well, I guess this has the greens though, right? The back of one of these is green. No. I don't have, I guess I got that green. So, those colors kind of go. Or do I want more of this Spring Medley, which is mostly the blue, but has a little bit of this. I don't have a lot of that left. Kind of has the blues and the teals. don't know how much of this I have left. This one I like, but it's kind of beachy, so I don't know that I want that. Clouds. That's a hard thing, you know, I kind of think, oh, this is what I'm going to do, but then when I get down to actual creating the layout, it's harder to decide. I mean, this got a little orange in it, but I'm going to cut that off. But I think I'm liking the variety of colors on this. Darn it. I'm really trying to use up old collections and empty those folders and make room for new. But I think we're going to go with Birds and Blossoms, which is this year's. I also, the advantage to that is I do have some of the stickers for Birds and Blossoms, which is mostly birds and stuff left. But I do have this flower. That could be cute with the topiaries or even the little tree branches. Fresh blooms. I don't know about any of these. I don't think I have, I mean, I'm sure I have access to the matte packs, but I don't think I have them here. So let's do that. Let's, I think I'm going to trim these down to that 2 3/4 by 4. And then once I've got those cut down, we'll play with arranging. So I think what I want to do is cut the 2 3/4 first, and I guess I will really use, I think I'm gonna use this, like this one better, use this to help me decide where my first cut is going to be. So basically for this one, I think I'm gonna be right in the middle of that fence, and it doesn't have to be super accurate, but then I can just measure it 2 3/4 and know that I'm not going to chop off anything. And then 4, as always, I'm going to put the like the visual middle of the center on the 2, and then I'll just trim on either side, roll it around. So there's my 2 3/4 by 4. Oops, again, this one, definitely going to cut that bench off because I feel like it draws my eye. I think I want him to be kind of centered. So again, halfway through this fence. And then that's 2 is right in the middle. So kind of his. Okay, and this one is off to the side. This will be a little bit easier because I'm just going to cut the bottom. I want to make sure I have the. Okay, so that's 3 inches. I want a little bit of these rocks, so we're going to cut off a little bit of this torii, but torii, I don't know actually how you say it. Torii, I think I know how to spell it, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Torii gate. And then 4 would be right here, but I think I'm gonna, I like that. This one again, we're gonna be cutting through the middle of the fence. Oh, I should use this. So having these little templates just help me to kind of see where, you know, where to make my cuts. I mean, you could take like one of the photo labeling pencils if you wanted to and mark off, you know, make lines to show you where it's gonna cut, but I don't ever do that. You know, it's not, it doesn't have to be exact. I just want it to look good and make sure I don't chop off anybody's head. Except maybe these people in the background. I've learned now how to use, well, I haven't done it, but I've been told that I can go on Google Photos. If you have an Android, it's super easy to like take these people out, but even if you don't, you can go on Google Photos and there's like tools that will let you snip those people out, and I might need to do that. Okay, this one is vertical, but because it's 4 inches wide, I'm still going to cut it to that 2 3/4 by 4. I'm just going to cut the bottom of the planter, and I won't get all of Spaceship Earth, but I'll get most of it. All right, so there we go. Those are the pictures. And so what I want to do is kind of position these. I'm not necessarily going to use this paper, but I kind of do like this little robin's egg speckle. The back, this is probably my least favorite paper. It's so busy. I mean, I guess if it was a border, if I had baby birds or something, but I do like this one. So if I just kind of did, You know, that's kind of at the front of the park. I think I want to put Peter Pan and the alligator. What's the alligator's name from Peter Pan? I don't think I know. These guys right here. This right there. Kind of in something like this. And I don't know if I want to mat them separately or if I want to mat them all in one big piece. It would be nice if I had like some big flower embellishments. They'll kind of help me decide what I'm going to do. So I did come across these floral essentials. Actually, we had a big, like a sticker sheet that came with this. A few weeks ago, they had a promo that if you bought the floral essentials, there was a single page sticker sheet with like a green wreath. That would be really fun for this. I have seen it. I'm gonna look for that, and I think that's what we're gonna use. I didn't even have to look very hard. I obviously had pulled this out earlier, and it was on the top of my pile, which is great. So the only way to get this was in the bundle or by buying however many of those. And I don't really love flowers, but for as many flower and garden trips as I'm hoping to take in my life, this might just be what I need. So, and I couldn't find these last week. These would have been perfect when I was needing blue flowers. All right, but then does it go with these colors? Are these too muted? I think it still goes okay with these. And I think it would be really fun to do like the, you know, the rectangle and maybe not even mat these. Do I do this on the green? No, that's too much. I think I'm gonna do it on the brown. Oh, no, maybe I want the brown as my background or the blue as my background. No, the orange maybe. I think the brown is gonna be the background. I map these on the orange. Oh, I kind of like it on the orange. I don't know, maybe it washes out the photos to be on the orange. Maybe I do it on the brown and then use the orange as the background. I don't love that. There's not enough contrast right there. That green. It'd be fun to have the sun. Oh, I like that little halfway one too. Kind of like to have like a half circle up here and then a little half circle down here, and that way I'm only using half of these, so I could have them for something else, which would be nice. But what color to use? What color to use? Oh, do I have any of the stripe? I love the stripe for this one. When it's the light green leaves. So this is the part where I just kind of have to figure stuff out. There's this brown. Okay, I like the brown on the stripe. But is this green too bright? It might be. Kind of the same color family. And I feel like it's not horribly wrong. I do like the stripe. So I think it's going to be the stripe with the brown, and I don't want to put the orange on if I'm using the stripe because there's no orange on here. But do I want to mat the photos? Because I could still mat the photos like with a little bit of a blue mat and then put them on the brown. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll just use the green from there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll just cut a circle. Maybe I'll just cut a circle. So, all right, so I'm going to mat these with about 1/8 of an inch mat, since these are 2 3/4 by 4. I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4 by 3. Oh, that'll be easy. I can get 4 mats out of one paper. 4 1/4. You know, sometimes I cut my mats, you know, I stick them down and then I trim each individual mat, but hopefully because these are all theoretically the same size picture, it'll be a little bit faster. And I kind of like this darker blue, so I'm going to do these 4 1/4 by 3. Just going to double check with this last piece because I'm lining up right on the middle of the line. Oh, that's just right. Yay. Apparently it's the middle of the line that I need to use when I'm trying to measure. I kind of have been going back and forth between, you know, below the line, just covering the line. All right, so that's 4, 5, 6 of those. So then if I put these on here, and cut that. Yeah, I don't know if I can use those stickers. These seem too kind of bright and loud. And this is kind of softer, but I really like them. So I'm gonna stick these down, and I never know until I get editing what is worth snipping out and what I should leave in. If I end up not talking, I usually snip it out. But it's, again, one of those things, like I don't know what is easier. I know some of the other YouTubers I follow do their stuff live, and I've thought about trying to do something live, but I'm a little scared because you know, I like the security of knowing that if this all, you know, goes to heck, I can start over. You guys wouldn't even have to know we were going to do Topiaries today. But I have never actually gone that far and like not done the layout at all. But I have done some heavy editing in the past. So, would there be interest if I were to do a live, maybe on a, I don't know, a Friday night or a weeknight? Would that be something fun? Would it be something we'd want to do together? You know, should I give you the, you know, a supply list ahead of time? We could work together. Would you want me to create a project ahead of time? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I know I've got a bunch of you that are very regular watchers, and we've had conversations before, and you've given me good advice about what I should do. All right, so these are now 4 1/4, 4 1/4, which is 8 1/2. Plus, I want to leave a little gap. Not quite 9, I don't think. Well, that would be 9. So maybe I want a little bit more than 9, 9 1/4. And then I could scoot that over. All right, I think I'm going to do 9 1/4. Because I don't like to do math, that means I'm going to cut. 9 would be 3 inches, so 9 1/4 is going to be 2 3/4 inches. And then they were 3 inches tall. I want to kind of keep a nice even spacing. I think I'm only going to be able to cut 2 inches off the top of this guy. Yeah, I'll just cut 2 inches off. They're both kind of equally. I like the brown more than like the beige. I think I'll cut this end off. I'll just cut 2 inches off. So in case anybody's ever trying to duplicate this, this is now 10 by 9 1/4. And then these are 2 3/4 inch photos with 3 inch by 4 1/4 mats. And we'll put these all on. Yeah, I think these were in the front of the park. They've just changed the name. It used to be called Future World and World Showcase, and they've changed the name of Future World, and I can't quite remember what it is. I know it didn't change when I was doing this, so I guess I can still say it was Future World. That's maybe a little bit taller than I would want it to be. Anytime I have like if one side is going to be wider than the other, I like to put it at the bottom. I think I've talked about that. So let's go ahead and stick these guys down and see if I can get them straight. If you had some tulip pictures, this would be good, but I don't have any tulip pictures. We've got a tulip farm around here, but just never seem to make it out there. Some of my friends have gotten fantastic photos there, though. I'm a little jealous. Okay. Yeah, this is a little bit bigger than I want it to be, and I think I'm going to trim it down after I get these stickers or these pictures on. I could make a bigger gap here, but I want it to be kind of the same gap all the way around. I just feel like that's a lot more visually pleasing if your spacing is all the same. So I think I'm going to trim a smidge off the edge of this once we get everything down. Although now that's looking like it's not straight. I'm going to have to pull out the old ruler. Okay, are these straight? Let's do them here. No, that is not straight at all. I can see right here, it's super crooked. This is like a ½ inch, oh, off the screen. This is like almost a ½ inch, and this is barely a ¼ inch. So is this side straight? This is the side I started with. Oh yeah, this one is a lot straighter. I don't know if you can see that. And just as I line it up right here, I can see that it's straighter all the way down. Whereas if I come on this side and do the same thing, it's, you know, right here at this side and clear down to there. Oops, clear down to there on that side. So it's too far to zoom, I guess. So this is the straight side, and then I'm going to use these to kind of position my mats. Just to, rather than using the edge of the paper, I'm going to just kind of visually line them up with the straight photos on this side. And some people just aren't, you know, they're okay with things not lining up, and I wish I could be. I just ripped that paper a smidge right there. I don't know that you'll be able to tell once I get everything positioned. How's this one looking right here? Also, this one's a little not straight, so. It's interesting because visually, like I think it looks straight, and then I check it with my ruler and find out that it's not quite straight. That's close enough, but it's not quite centered, so I am going to just trim a smidge. One of the things I love about this trimmer, I think I've told you that before, is that you can just slice the tiniest little edge off, and that wasn't even quite enough. That's better. Oh, this part where I messed it up, I don't know how to, if I can repair that at all. It'll be noticeable. We might be putting an embellishment right there. I am going to leave it a little bit wider on the bottom though, because I think I'm okay with that visual weight. And then we'll put this right here. Oh, I like it with the stripes. I like it a lot with the stripes. But do I want this? This is big, and it's really bright green. It really draws your eye. I think I'm going to use this, and I'll use my circle cutter. I haven't used my circle cutter in a while, and you guys know I love that thing. So what I want, we've got kind of these flowers right here. Maybe I don't want a ring. Maybe I just want to do some flowers, because I can just write topiaries and do some flower clusters. Where'd I put those flowers? I used flowers on the last page, but it is the Flower and Garden Festival. This is only blue, green, and brown. This is the wrong, oh, these are teal. That's why I don't want those. These are blue. Don't really love this. So let's look at the stickers again. Oh, we could use the flower border or the little twigs. Those are kind of like topiaries, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about topiaries to know what they are. The paper pack itself is really heavy on the birds, and there's not many flowers. And what I need is flowers. I don't need, you know, I have 2 sets because of the Savvy Scrapbookers we do. You know, I do a sample and then I make one to show. And I used all the pieces that I like best already. All right, I think it's going to be maybe this, and maybe some of these. I've got the little blue gems too. They're kind of denim-y looking. I don't know if they go with this. I think there are embellishments to Birds and Blossoms too, but I don't have those at home. So maybe I do need the circle that we talked about. Do like a circle here, kind of a half circle, and then a little small circle, the other half of that circle. So let's see. I was going to use my circle maker, my circle cutter, but maybe I need to just use one of these custom cutting system circles. I think I may still use some of these flowers. I kind of like the bigger one. And then a little ring right there. And then still maybe that string of twigs, tree branches, whatever that is. All right, but do I just want solid circles or do I want the ring? This would be the only one. The ring I wouldn't need a ring down here. I think I'll do a ring just so I can show you guys again how to do a ring, because I love this with the circle cutter. So this is probably about a 6-inch ring when you cut it. So we'll use that. Anytime you're going to be using the circle cutter, you always want to cut from the biggest to the smallest so that you have, you know, that whatever this is on is going to stay put. So if you've watched my video about my circle cutter hack, you know that you need some 3-inch Post-it notes. So I found all of these that are too small, but I do have these. These are actually translucent, so that could be kind of cool. So I just need one. And because this is kind of plasticky, I'm going to have to use a pen. I think I'm just going to use a ballpoint pen. And we're going to draw a line from corner to corner on both sides to find the middle. And I'll link to the video where I talk about this in case you haven't seen this and want to learn how. You could absolutely use any other kind of circle or ring if you want, but I do like this. And this is just going to allow me to make sure that my rings are centered. Okay, so then I've got my square, which you can't see because it's translucent. All right, so you can see it's got that square. And then I need to measure a line that is 1 1/4 inches away from the center line. All right, so 1 1/4. And you don't have to write that 1 1/4 measurement on there. That's just for me to show you. And so then I don't think I need to find the middle of my paper, but I want to make sure that when I get this, I'm going to have enough space. I'm going to cut a 6-inch circle. So I need to make sure I have at least 6 inches of space over here. So basically this X is going to be the middle of my pivot point. So I know I need it to be, I want a little bit of grace in case I go off the edge. I want it to be about 3 1/4 in and 3 1/4 in. So this is a 3-inch, or sorry, 3 1/2. This is a 3-inch ruler. So I know I want it to be here, but I'm going to go up and over about a 1/2 inch. Just position it right, oops, right like that. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight because we just need to find the center of the circle. I'm going to take my circle cutter and set it at the 6-inch line. And I think I want a 1-inch ring. Maybe I want a little bit more than that, 1 1/4 inch. So then I position my circle cutter right here on the Post-it note. You can do this without a Post-it note. You just have to then not pick up your paper at all after you've cut. But I like to be able to pick it up and move it. So if you didn't use the Post-it note, then at this point you would just have to like loosen this and slide it and whatever, but that's too hard for me. So I'm going to move this out of the way now. So this was a 6-inch and I want, I think I want more than 1 inch. I think I want 1 1/4. 1¼ inch. No, I'll just do 1 inch because that's the math is easier on that. But because I want an inch all the way around, it's going to be an inch on this side and an inch on this side. That means I need to scoot this down 2 inches. So this is a 6-inch circle and I need to do a 4-inch circle in the middle to get an inch on either side. And that's always a little bit tricky too for people is, you know, if I want a 1-inch ring, why do I have to move it 2 inches? But it's because the ring goes on both sides of the circle. All right, so there's a little Post-it note stuck to it. There's my ring. I might have to do some inking of the edges of this guy too, actually. There's my ring. Okay, I'm liking that. That's kind of what I was wanting. And then I want a little tiny one in here. So I think I'm just going to take this piece that's left, which is a 4-inch, and I just want maybe a 1/2 inch, which is good because the smallest circle this will cut is just bigger than 3 inches. So I can only, that's as small down as I can go. I'm going to go all the way to the end. You see it bumps up against this thing, so I can't go any tighter in. It's just not quite to the 3-inch line. And that's a lot harder to cut a small circle because this thing can't pivot. So then you put it on the line, you hold this down, press in on the white button, and then press down on the blue button to engage the blade. And there's probably an easier way to do this, but when it's just tiny, I just have to kind of go around. And then I'm going to make sure that it cut up all the way. Okay, I think it did. All right, and then the fact that my little Post-it note now has the edges cut off is not a big deal because this will still work if I want to use it for something else. And I think I'll just leave it on here so that it doesn't like get linty from being on my desk, you know, because I don't know about you, but my scrapbook room is not the cleanest room in my house. I mean, it's not like dirty. Well, it's probably dirty, but it's not, it's just not very tidy. There's a lot of dust and lint. Okay, then I'll put this one down here. But see, now I'm feeling like maybe I do need this other thing. You've got that darn rule of 3s. Ooh, what if I did it up here? Then I could cover up. Oh, it won't cover it up. Drat, it's just a hair too big. All right, so let's do it down here. I do like that. Maybe I like that, and that. The rings. Well, so much for my plan. I think I want a little bit more space. I don't know. I can't do the 3s with the rings. It's not working for me. So I think we're going to do the 2 rings, and then we'll do something else kind of, I don't know, down here. But I like that. I'm liking the rings. I'm glad we didn't go with that really bright green. I like how it kind of overlaps on the corners. I like that this is a 1-inch ring and this is a 1/2 inch ring. So I'm going to, I think I want to ink around the edges though. So I've got this kind of, I don't know what color it is. I wish that they would label their pen colors, but it's kind of a periwinkle blue. Noreen on her Fast and Fun last week talked about, you know, making a little chart. I think that's the right blue. It's a little dark, but it feels very much like that same color. I'm just going to kind of ink around the edges. And I've showed you this before. You can just kind of take your piece and hold it and ink around like this. But it's really fast to just put it on too late now. I'll use the back, but just kind of go around. It's a little harder on a circle on this thinner designer paper, and I don't need to go all the way around because I'm not using the whole thing, but you know, a lot of people have like those little inker stamp pads. See, that's too big though, so maybe I do need to do it this way. Oh yeah, I think that was better. All right, so I wasted that whole piece of my scratch paper. But because I had extra, I cut the whole circle, I can hide this part. Whoops. I can hide the part where I messed up in the back. And hopefully it won't, you know, the other part where I messed up will not show. And we'll do this way, and I'll fast forward through this. Oh, I will come back and say that what's easier for me is to keep my pen straight in stationary and then kind of move my paper underneath it. So I'm not drawing around with this, and which is what I was doing when I was going on the circle, and that's probably where I messed up. But I just hold my pen still, and then I move the paper along the edge. And that seems to make it work better for me. And of course, the nice thing is that if I mess up, like I just did, if I needed this whole ring, I could easily just cut another one because it's just cut with paper. Okay. All right, so I had one little hiccup here, so this will have to go under that way. I'm kind of wondering if I need to now outline this little brown piece too. Maybe I do. This one I messed up more. Oh, look. The one little spot I messed up can tuck under the picture right there. It does have a couple of spots where I messed up, actually. But I am going to put stickers or something on it, aren't I? Or flowers, so let's bring that around. It's messed up right there. I'm going to do the edge of this one. This is the one that might be faster on a, might be faster just doing it on a piece of paper, but I learned my lesson with that last time. This is a little trickier because if I mess up on this one, it's going to be harder to cover up. Okay. So I have friends that ink like all there, and actually this one I notice I'm pulling the pen more than I am doing the paper, although I'm kind of moving both. I have friends that like ink everything. Every layout they do, they ink all the edges, and it really does make it look pretty and kind of gives a lot of definition, but I'm just am kind of lazy. I don't know that it adds that much that I care. But then when I do it, I think, oh man, now I know why they do it all the time. All right, that was a little wiggly. It's these round tip or these dot tip pens that work so well with this because they got this big fat tip. I don't know that it would work as well with like the dual tip pens. I mean, it'd probably work okay with the tip's only that big, but I got this just big juicy dot. All right. Okay. So we're going to do this. Do I want, okay, so I apparently had a alarm set on my phone that knocked the video off. So I don't know what part I got lost at, but here I am back. Trying to decide if I want a border. Maybe I just want to do the pen border. But I think if I do that, I am just going to do it on a paper. And I'll use the ruler because I think because I did outline those other things, I do want to do this. So, well, oh, I got to get a tissue to wipe this off in between layers. Okay, so there's my tissue, and I'm going to just kind of give it I'm going to eyeball it. In the past, I have, oh, wrong side. I keep pulling off the colored cap, and I want the clear cap to be off. In the past, I have measured this, but I think I'm going to be okay just to eyeball it. See, that was pretty fast. But now the edge of my ruler is inky, and so just to make sure that I don't smear it when I go around the corner, I'm going to wipe it off. I'm just kind of positioning this maybe 1/8 of an inch, perhaps a little bit less, and just trying to make it look even. That is really fast. Oh, except I smudged a little bit right there. So good thing it was on that color. Oh, forgot to do this. See, I already just made a little smudge right there. I don't really love the color, what happened when I went over that brown though. I need to remember to not, like, when I start pressing down, I press harder, and so then the edge blobs a little bit. So I'll start off the edge. There we go. That way the blob is over there. And finally, I mean, you could also, if you like the border edge, you've seen me cut little 1/8 inch strips and put those around. Or a lot of people do where they trim this paper down by, you know, 1/4 of an inch, and then they mat it on a contrasting color. All those things work. There are lots of different ways you can kind of give definition to your layout. Okay. Where's the blob piece? Right there. So we're going to put it down here. Although really, I think it's going to be less visible up there. So I think there's the blob. It's not a bad blob. It's just a little smidge of a blob. But see how it changed the color? So now this is like kind of a greenish brown. Maybe I don't want that at the top. Yeah, because this will be down here. Okay. So this is going to go on here. And this is where I was trying to do it, you know, with the pen, and it was way too thick. So that little piece will be like the very edge that goes right here. Okay. I'm not sure how to position this. I think I'm going to put a little piece of regular adhesive, position this exactly where I want it. Okay, right like that. Then I'll do the same with this one. There's the little place I messed up. Oh, I think I'm going to use the flower. Oh, I don't know about the flower because it's got the orange in it, but maybe I'm going to use the flower. So there's the sticky part. And I want this hair down so I can have, I want to leave that little white gap between here. Oops. White gap between there. It's not really straight. Maybe I left too much of a gap on this one, because now it's right at the edge. All right. So hopefully that's okay. And then we'll just stick this whole thing down. Okay. Try to see if this is straight, how I can line it up with the lines on the pattern. That right there. Okay. Now I think I do want the flowers, or some kind of flowers, or the leaves, or something. I think we need something. These flowers are kind of big. I don't really love the kind of denim-y one, although I don't hate it. I like that big one. Oh, look, I can cover up those people. How dare they be in my photo? Can't cover up those people though, sadly. All right. Yes, I know I should not ever expect to have Disney World to myself, but a girl can dream. Okay, I kind of like that with the flowers. I don't think I want the dark green. I think I just want the, oh, I don't know how many pieces of this light green with the little dots I have. Oh, I just have 2. Well, I should have 3 because I got 3 of, oh, they're there. Okay, I got 4. So if I put one of these right here, with that flower, and then, oh, this is where my little mistake was, so that's too big. That falls off the edge. I guess I'm gonna have to use this polka dotty one. That covers up my little mistake though. And that gives me that rule of 3, you know, that's kind of an odd, like I feel like that's more one cluster and that's another cluster. I don't want to cover up the dinosaur or the dragon at all. That's not terrible, but I hate to waste that little one, so maybe I'll do this guy in here. I wonder if I have any of the white flowers left that I used last week. This is that bin I had other flowers in. Haha, there's a white one. Oh, I do like these too. I used this last week. Maybe I like these better. Well, this is a little bit too teal, isn't it? All right, is that another white one? Perfect. Okay. I got that one too, but I don't know. I'll pull him out just in case. There's a little white one, and there's another little white one. So it's funny, for a girl that doesn't really like, you know, flowery embellishments, I tend to have a lot of them. So these are a little tricky because they have the embossing in them, or the debossing. So I definitely want to use full permanent adhesive, not the repositionable, just because I feel like that will keep it stuck down a little bit better. I'll put this right here. I'll do this one first, and then we'll do that one. And I love the tape runner because you can just have just a little tiny bit. Actually, I'm going to move this. There's one little spot right, oh, that doesn't work. I'm going to say there's one little spot on here that's kind of annoying me, where the pen looks like it left a little, I don't know what it left, but it left a little mark, so I've just covered it up. Hooray! So we'll put this one right here, and then that one, and then we'll do these two up here, maybe. Okay, this guy too can be permanent adhesive. Oh, sorry, I'm going to cover up those people. Maybe not this little mom and her daughter, but maybe. Okay. And this one, I think I'm going to use a foam square just to give it, just because it's got all this under it. And got just a few little left on this card. I'll do one little foam square right there. So that does kind of tie it together with last week's layout, right? So I don't want to cover up too much of that, but I think we'll go a little. I have a half a foam square. I'm just going to use a half on this tiny guy. Oh boy, I hope I can be able to fit the word topiaries right here. Haha, I should have done the title first and then put the stickers on. You think I would learn? Okay, that's going to go right there. This one's a little tricky because I wanted to use the permanent adhesive, but it's got all these holes in it. So just kind of have to go right here in the middle and fold it back where if it tried to go over. Okay, liking the flowers. Oh, I forgot about that sticker strip. I guess I'm not using it. The flower and garden. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. I wonder if I could use green ABCs. I've used so many blue ABCs lately. Wonder if I could use green. Oh, and I've got these little dots too. Definitely want to put some floral, these little epoxy dots. Oh, look, another little blue one. but I'm going to wait till I get the title down. And what journaling do I need to say? I don't know. They're topiaries. What is there to say? But maybe I'll figure something out. So let me get the title stuck down and be right back. All right, I got 2 sticker letters. I've got the Kelly Green Collegiate, but they're too bright. That's just too bright of a green. If I'd used that big sticker, these would work. But I'm wondering about these Tropic Time. They've got a little bit of a leaf pattern in them, but I think they're going to work better. And I like the font on these a lot. It's kind of just a blocky font. And I think I can fit the word Topiaries. Do I want it all caps? Do I want it in lowercase? I think I'm going to do upper and lowercase. Position them on my ruler. If I can remember where I put it. And then stick them down. All right, so here's my title, just stuck to my ruler. I think I'm gonna have to trace around it because it's blending in a little bit. So if I want it, oh, I can use this. Well, maybe I use the bottom of the brown line just to position my sticker letters, and then I don't even have to use my ruler because I can use that line to keep me straight. And the P is going to go down into the mat a little bit, but I think that's okay. All right, topiaries, we'll put some little dots on the eyes. I'm definitely going to trace around this, even though I'm a little scared. And I sure hope I spelled this right. If I wasn't recording, I would have looked it up quick on my phone, but I'm using my phone to record, so. Okay, yeah, that really helps to outline it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do all the rest. Okay, so while I was off camera tracing around this, I went ahead and did my journaling. I just said, every year the Disney gardeners create many large themed topiaries to show off at the Flower and Garden Festival. It's fun to look for new ones and revisit old favorites. Kind of lame journaling, but I really feel like it's important to have some journaling. And when I don't know what to say, I think, what would I tell you if you were sitting here next to me and I wanted to talk to you about this layout? And that's pretty much what I would do. So I'm just going to add a few of these little epoxy embellishments. And there's just the 2 colors, but they go really nicely with this blue. I don't know that I want to put them in the center of the flower like I did last week, although that was definitely an easy way to do it. And this one is he's kind of wiggling, so because it's on that foam square, and I think it's a little off center. So, okay, we're going to go with the center of the flowers again, even though that's boring. I like that there's a couple of different sizes. Although I think that one, I want the bigger one. Oh yeah, that fits better. Makes it look more like a little daisy. Which means I want to do that down here too. Okay, I like the bigger dots a lot better than the little dots, but I'll put a couple little dots just as little accenty dots. You know, I do dots sometimes. I draw dots, but I think that the little epoxy dots kind of give that same look. Just got a few. I'll put one up there. And I don't like know what the secret is. Okay, right here is where I have that that little hiccup on my drawing or my tracing. So I'll put that there, but I think I want to put, oh, look, there's another little hiccup right there. So he'll go right there. Okay, I think that's done. Yeah, I like it. I like that I was able to fit all 6 photos on here. I don't feel like I cut anything away that I needed. I like that I was able to use flowers. I am not a flower girl, but they really were just what this layout needed. So birds and blossoms and the floral essential flower embellishments. And I'm going to call this layout done. This is number 31. We're going to call it Topiaries. And yeah, I'm happy with it. I mean, and that's kind of my goal, right? I feel like I say that every time. Every week when we end this, I say, oh yeah, I'm happy with it. The couple of times that I've said, yeah, I don't really like it, I've come back to it before I actually posted the video so that I could fix it. But I like to make sure that by the time I'm done with it, I like it well enough. I mean, it may not be my favorite layout ever, but I mean, I do like it. I like the design. I think you use this for a lot of different things with a lot of different embellishments. It shows off my photos. My photos are the focus, but I still had fun with, you know, a little bit of decorating. And I was able to use the stripes to help me with my journaling. So that's a plus. So here we go, layout 31. Thanks so much. I'll be back next week with layout 32.